The Tipping Point with Mike Tipton is brought to you by Dubby. What is Dubby? Dubby is a clean energy drink that is made to give you focus with no crash, jitters, or angst like those other energy drinks have. They also have no maltodextrin fillers and don't use artificial dyes. Dubby contains vitamins, amino acids, a nootropic, and 150 milligrams of caffeine. Dubby's products are made in the USA in an FDA-inspected facility that strictly adheres to GMP manufacturing guidelines. All of the flavors are unique and custom-made by Dubby, and you'll never taste our taste anywhere else. The best part about it is they're affordable. Dubby's drinks come out to about $1 per drink, much cheaper than Starbucks or any of those canned energy drinks. To learn more, visit w.gg.com/discount/MRTipton33 and place your order today. Use promo code MrTipton33 and save today. Dubby Energy, be better. What's going on, everybody? I want to tell you about my new friends over at Cleverman. Visit them online at becleverman.com. What they gave me was the energizing face and beard scrub along with the Cleverman face scrubber. And trust me when I say this, the energizing face and beard scrub smells amazing. Combining it with the face scrubber, making sure that your boy was looking as good and sexy as possible, opened up a whole different sensation in my face that I haven't ever felt before. I felt so clean, so fresh, and so clean, like Outcast said, and it helped me feel like I was ready for my day. Make sure you visit them online at becleverman.com and follow them on Instagram at clevermannyc. The link is up in my bio if you want to check out all the amazing products they have. Visit them online, becleverman.com. It is time for the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton, coming at you live on this, as Gary in the comment section says already, a Coffee Tuesday. I got my coffee right here. I went a little, I got it in the mason jar. I went with some iced coffee today, and I decided, you know what? Why the hell not? Let's just go ahead and slip into the darkness this early in the morning and get ourselves a little bit of bourbon, some bourbon and coffee. If you haven't tried that, then you are missing out on life. Also, are you adulting right if you don't do that? It's a joke. Is it a joke? I don't know. We'll figure that out together as we're here on the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton. Let's see if my words start slurring, and then you'll figure out whether or not the joke is real or if it's just a joke at all. Nonetheless, cheers, everybody, on this Coffee Tuesday. As Gary says, Gary, what is your go-to coffee? Because as far as I go, I'm normally like a Dunkin' guy. I love Dunkin' coffee. I don't know what it is about the Dunkin' coffee that I love so much, but it has a different taste to it, right? And like right now, I'm drinking Folgers because I ran out of Dunkin' because I am at the end of the day a horrible human being, but I ran out of the Dunkin' coffee. I'm trying this Folgers like French vanilla roast, and it just doesn't taste the same. You know what I mean? And I don't know if it's just me, but like I'm a creature of habit where I will try the same thing. I guess not even try. I will just get the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. Like whenever I go to Whataburger, my go-to order is always the number 5, no onions, no tomatoes. Give me some extra bacon on that. Every now and then we'll throw some jalapenos on there. But I don't like ordering different things from different places. I know it's a weird little mental tick of mine, a little OCD-ish of me to be that way. But nonetheless, I am that way. I forgot to click live on Instagram, so now I'm making sure that we are live. Yes, we are. Over on Instagram, Tommy Canasta saying he doesn't drink coffee. He just goes strictly for the nose candy. Wait, what? What a weird thing to say there, guy. I guess for me, like, I didn't really drink coffee until I became a teacher. and that'll drive anyone into drinking copious amounts of anything, just anything. Because, man, as much as I loved the students, there's a lot of other stuff out there that is left to be desired in the world of education. For those people that are long-term teachers, you guys are saints. I couldn't do it. 3 years was more than enough for me. Salute to y'all, because Jesus Christ, I don't know how you do it for long. There was someone that I met at the school I was working at that was there for 25 years. And I just couldn't imagine, right? Like that's 6 different generations of high school students that you've seen come in as freshmen and graduate. And it feels like they just keep getting worse and worse and worse. And I was only there for 3 years. Damn, I really am turning into get off my lawn guy. Jesus effing Christ, man. It's the tipping point with a 97-year-old Mike Tipton here on a Tuesday. We are live on Facebook, on YouTube, on X, on Instagram, and of course over on Roku with National Streaming Sports. Shout out to National Streaming Sports, all the fun shows that they have going on throughout the day. Make sure you download Roku, download National Streaming Sports, and support the people that support us here with the tipping point with Mike Tipton. Let's see how long they allow this show to continue going off the rails the way that it does. All right. And that's also my thing too, right? Like I don't necessarily always drink hot coffee. I like frozen coffees. I don't care how damn cold it is. I'll do a frozen coffee. I'll do an iced coffee. Like I'm a little different in that aspect. So I'm hoping, maybe just maybe I'll be able to get enough energy to go through it. I also don't do energy drinks, Tommy, so I totally get you with the why you don't do coffee. Like I said, it wasn't until I became a teacher. Literally not until I became a teacher, because it was right across the street, and that was easy for me to be able to get to. Nonetheless, we are here. All right. So a few things I wanted to talk about today was obviously some things that we saw going on in the world of sports. Today being April Fool's Day, I wanted to see if anyone had some really cool April Fool's Day pranks that they had pulled on people back in the day, because I don't feel like it's a thing anymore. Is it like where you go around pranking people? I don't feel like April Fool's Day is kind of what it was. You know what I mean? Like it feels like it's one of those like long forgotten things. And I just don't see any like every now and then you'll see sports teams that pull out like a cheesy little prank or something like that. For me, I don't know if there's anything out there where it's like, oh, okay, this is what April Fool's Day is about. I know as a kid, maybe, but I don't think we ever really pulled any pranks off, at least not on my parents, because they would have beat the brakes off of us. So I don't know if people even actually go out there and do anything on April Fool's Day. So if you got something, let me know what it is. Maybe I'll pull some pranks on people later on today. Maybe that's what I'm doing right now by saying that there was bourbon and coffee. Who knows? Is it the truth? Is it not the truth? We shall find out, because I am plowing through this thing. So if I start slurring, then you know what the answer is to that. There's no bourbon in there. Or is there? Nonetheless, today I wake up, I'm in a great mood. I keep thinking to myself, man, the NFL is perfect the way that it is. And right before I go live, I'm looking on social media. I'm trying to find what might be out there, right? Like what has changed in the world of sports from last night to today. And I kept thinking to myself, man, the world of sports last night was extremely boring. What the hell am I going to talk about? There's so much that's going on in the real world. Maybe we talk about some of that stuff. Maybe we just joke around for the whole rest of the day. And then to my rescue came the NFL with a 2025 rule change that includes changing the overtime format to where now both teams will receive a possession in overtime during the regular season games. The same overtime format the NFL used in the postseason of 2024. And look here. Now we can say both teams will get to hold the ball. I feel like that's been a thing for quite some time. The overtime is going to be 10 minutes now. They initially wanted it to be 15 minutes. They said, no. Those 5 extra minutes, that's too much. We're not going to do it that way. My dude, Bistrilla, Joining in right now saying good morning, Tip. Good morning to Tommy TC915 as well, Tommy Carranza. I love the way that Sonia Pearson tries to say Tommy Carranza. Because I can't remember what was it, Castañeda? Is that what she said? And also, Tommy, how many times do people mess up your last name? Because people seem to mess up Tipton a lot. Like, obviously, growing up here in El Paso, I got called Michelle a ton, right? You know, substitute teachers that don't know how to spell or say Michael used to call me Michelle a lot growing up as a kid. Tipton was always messed up. It was like Tipton is always the thing. Marlene Salcedo saying, hi, boys. Bonjour. Comment allez-vous aujourd'hui? I hope you all are doing well on this Tuesday. It is April Fool's Day. The question of the day, and I should probably put that down in the thing that's scrolling down at the bottom. The question of the day is, have you ever pulled off a April Fool's prank? Because I feel like this is something that happened maybe, just maybe, in like the 1800s. Not so much in the maybe the early 1900s. Definitely not now. Mireya Reyes saying, imagine a first name like mine, butchered all the time. And I feel like that's what the future for my children is, right? Like, I listen to Siri. I am one of those parents. I see my dude, Mark Salania, Marky Mix, tuned into the show over on Facebook as well. I see like my kids' names, right? And like I walk my kids to school, I come back, I drop them off, and then I get the alert on my phone. And I got like my AirPods in because I put my AirPods in because I don't want to talk to other parents because I am kind of an asshole. Sorry, Roku. I am kind of a jerk. And I just don't want to talk to other people. I'm focused on what I got to do. I'm listening to sports radio, trying to find out different topics for the day, right? And as I'm doing the show, or as I'm walking, I constantly get the alerts from like their air tags, and Siri gets Jericho's name, right? So like Jericho's air tag is doing this, right? But then comes my son Jinder, 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 and I know like it's a great name, means triumphant in Punjabi, but whenever Siri tells me that Jinder's backpack is left behind at this location where he went to school, it becomes an issue. And I've heard people call Jericho Jericho. My dude Marky Mix saying, what's up, Tip? The Crooked Commish coming in saying, yo, what's good? I'll definitely be reaching out to you so we can talk some Cowboys and NFC East. And no, it's not an April Fool's joke. The April Fool's joke that we got to figure out for ourselves today, is there bourbon in this coffee? It's 8 o'clock in the morning. Would Michael Tipton be so bold to do so? There is my April Fool's joke. Tommy Canazza saying the only time someone gets his name messed up was actually just Sonia, which is, man, that makes me feel bad now, Tommy. That genuinely makes me feel bad. But yes, Siri keeps saying Jinder. I've had people call Jinder Hinder. Gender is always a good one. Ginger is always a thing too. Marky Mix asking me, what are your thoughts on the new overtime rules? Can we really call them new overtime rules? Like, genuinely, can we call them that? Because you're guaranteeing now that both teams get a possession. How often over the last couple of years have we seen I love that. One ass cheek. What is your name, bro? I don't like calling you ass cheek. I've even said it. I said my dude B Strilla. I've called him B. I've called him Brian. I've done all kinds of stuff. Damn, man. You can just call him Cheeks. How many times do people just go up and say, damn, you're cheeked up? Look at them cheeks. That's the way it should be. At least to me. We'll see. But as far as the overtime rules go, like, is it really a change? Because how many times have we actually witnessed a game end on like one singular possession, right? Like, I feel like a lot of the times we get the field goal, the other team gets the ball I would say 90%, if not 95% of the time in overtime, both teams get a possession. So for them to say, okay, now we're guaranteeing that both teams get a possession, one, I hate it. Like genuinely, I do not like it. I've turned into get off my lawn guy. I think I was talking about that earlier today on the show as well. I am now 100% get off my lawn guy, because I'm so tired of the narrative of, oh, it's got to be fair. It's got to be fair for us to do all this stuff. Oh man, oh shucks, it's got to be fair. I don't care, because sports are not fair, right? If things were fair, the Cleveland Browns would actually be halfway decent, but they're not. Sports are not fair. The playing field is not fair. You can look at a team and say this team is exponentially better than this team. And I'm just so tired of it being like, oh, well, we've got to make the game fair. Everything's got to be fair. Oh, man, imagine what life would be if everything was fair. It's just not that way. And I get it. People are going to get upset and be like, oh, Tip, you don't get sports and blah, 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 blah. It's not about that stuff, man. If your team is good enough to stop the other team, then your team has a chance to win. If your team isn't good enough to win, then they're not good enough to win. Mireya Reyes saying, so it wasn't a catch back in the day with Dez. This is a thing, like the way that I say it all the time, right? Back then, it wasn't a catch. Now, with today's rules, it is a catch, because we have redefined what a catch is in the NFL so many times. But even that day, the day that it happened, I can go back and hopefully find it on social media. We're talking about almost 10 years ago. Jesus Christ, I'm an old man. I went out and said, that's not a catch, because he bobbled the ball. The ball hit the ground. He didn't survive the ball to the field, right? He did all the other moves, but he didn't survive the ball to the field. I just like pointing out Dez caught it, right? Like, it's such a funny narrative to me, because Dallas Cowboys fans think that they were going to win that game. They were going to give Aaron Rodgers, I want to say, 2.5 minutes left. It more than likely wasn't going to happen. But in my opinion, to the letter of the rule at that time, it wasn't a catch. Tommy Canazza going to hate me on that one. Brian, our guy Cheeks, the cheeky one, saying, yep, if the NFL were fair, the Lions would have a Super Bowl. 100%. And that's what I'm saying, right? Like, in a fair, utopic world, your team will win the Super Bowl once every 32 years. Think about that. Once out of every 32 years, your team would win the Super Bowl. And that's just based off of probability, right? Your team would be in the Super Bowl once every 16 years, because that would just be utopia. Unfortunately, we've ran into dynasties like the New England Patriots, like the Dallas Cowboys, like the San Francisco 49ers, like the Pittsburgh Steelers. And that's just because, and now the Kansas City Chiefs, and that's because sports are not fair. Marky Mix, Mark Saldana saying, participation trophies coming soon. Mark, if you can, please drop your SoundCloud link in there. If y'all don't know, Marky Mix is a DJ, one of the best DJs I've ever come across in the history of mankind. You can check out his music on Apple, on Spotify, all the mixes and stuff like that he does. He's actually done some really cool stuff. He's had some songs that are really damn good if you're into EDM and stuff like that. Got to check out my guy Marky Mix. I got nothing but love for you, my dude. So make sure you put that link where people can get it. I'll share it out here in just a little bit as well. I think I might share it. I'll cut this up, Mark, and I'll share it on social media, talking about how amazing all your mixes are. Tommy Canazza saying, yes, it was. Anyone with eyes could see it was a catch. I feel like we just triggered Tommy. Tommy is like, look, guys, it was a catch. I'm going to take this to the grave. It was a catch. If was a catch. Maybe it was a catch. Richard Simonson tuning in over on Instagram. Thank you so much for tuning in, sir. I hope you're having yourself a great day here on this Coffee and Bourbon Tuesday. Or is it an April Fool's joke? Once again, we'll see. As I'm plowing through it, it was about this fool whenever the show started. And we'll see. Does Tip's words Does Tip start slurring his words? I already sound like I slur my words 95% of the time. Beastrilla is saying that he would stop watching if there were participation trophies. And I feel like, okay, so I don't think the NFL is going to go full participation trophy, right? Like I genuinely don't feel like that's going to be the way that the NFL does all this stuff. But it feels like we're getting closer and closer and closer. And a lot of that, there you go, SoundCloud. My guy's link on SoundCloud. I'll copy it, Mark. I'll share it out there on all my various social media. Marquee Mix on Spotify. An El Paso boy, born and raised down in Socorro. One of my people from down in Socorro. Just a full 2.5 decades younger than your boy Tip. I realized today that I am old boy from Gran Torino. It's time to get off my lawn. I was about to say something else that I know I can't say on this, and I will not say it on this platform, because if I do, I will 100% get canceled. But it's a line from that movie, and I am not going to say it. Just get off my lawn. Also love that movie, Gran Torino. If you haven't seen it, it's weird the amount of, like, the weird movies I've seen and the movies that I haven't seen. Like, no Star Wars here, none of that stuff. But I've seen Gran Torino and all of the Fast and Furious movies. Someone once asked me, whenever I was working at a radio station here in El Paso, how did you become a man if you've never seen Star Wars? And I said, I looked them straight in the eye and said, because I was talking to girls and I went on dates. That's how. I didn't realize watching Star Wars was what made you become a man. Mireya Reyes saying, I disagree. I think they're talking about opportunity. Opportunity doesn't give an upper hand. It gives a chance. Look at what happened during the Bills postseason game when they didn't have an opportunity. The other team was given the game from my perspective. I guess I could see it that way. I can understand your perspective. Like why you're saying, okay, it gives the other team an opportunity. But you know what else gives you an opportunity? Stopping the other team from scoring. If they get the ball on offense and you stop them from scoring, you've given yourself the opportunity to score and win the game. Augustine saying, you didn't go on dates, don't lie. My guy, I was, again, my voice changed at 10 years old. Imagine a 10-year-old sounding like this. I sounded and looked like a grown-ass man. But you're right, I never went on a date before in my life. That was the April Fool's joke, Augustine. Come on. It wasn't the April Fool's joke. Mireya saying, but getting the ball first is chance. Everything is chance, right? Like it's the coin flip. It's all that stuff. All of it is chance. Getting the ball first in the beginning of the game is chance. If you get the decision to receive or to defer, it's all chance. Like that's what the game is. Throwing the ball up in the air on a Hail Mary, all of that is chance. Everything in sports is chance. You get a chance to fall back and shoot a jumper. Everything is chance. Tommy Canazza saying, Mireya, I disagree, Reyes. I bet she was on the debate team. JK, Mireya. Edouard Nails tuning in right now. That's my girl. Ivany, happy birthday. Happy belated birthday to you. Hope that you had a wonderful, wonderful time over on Instagram. Yes, so getting the ball is another chance. And again, you have your chance to stop them. Like that's always my mindset. And like I get why people think that, right? Like, okay, you've got to perform a specific way, or you've got to do specific stuff, right? It's not scripted like the WWE. I love me some WWE, and I get it. You know, most of the time, you know what the outcome is going to be. You just want to watch the story, right? With sports, with the NFL, with the NBA, with college basketball, with this and that, we want to feel like our team has a shot. Mireya saying, what did Tommy say? Uh-oh. Why isn't that showing? There it is. Man, it took a little while for the... Edouard Nail saying, I appreciate you, Tipton, over on Instagram as well. I guess the way that I want to say it, right, is it feels like you take something away. It genuinely does. And then hearing that the NFL is also wanting to go to 18 games, and you got a bunch of people out here being like, oh, we don't want 18 games, and a bunch of people saying like, oh yeah, we want 18 games, and it's all about either paychecks or we don't want teams to feel like they're out of it. But in my opinion, I feel like if you have 18 games, you give more teams a shot, right? The same thing with Cincinnati. The way Pittsburgh was playing at the end of the season, Pittsburgh was more than likely going to lose that 18th game. Cincinnati would have won this hypothetical 18th game. Cincinnati would have been in the playoffs. A bunch of people out there would have been happy because you would have had Cincinnati maybe knocking off Kansas City. Maybe we get a different type of Super Bowl. It would have been different, right? Like more teams would have had a chance at the playoffs. But in reality, if you didn't win the games to begin with and you put yourself in that type of position, I don't have sympathy for you, right? Like the same thing with the Dallas Cowboys. Sure, they had a shot. They had a little bit of a shot. Tommy Canassa saying, be kind, rewind, Mireya. I'll go back to it. He said, Mireya, quote, I disagree. That's your nickname. Mireya, I disagree, Reyes. I bet she was on the debate team. Our guy B. Strill is saying, to be fair, Tommy915, it was a DPI on Hitchens. I'm just saying. I don't know. Like I just, maybe I'm old. Maybe that's what it is, right? Like I'm at this point where I'm the old guy, get off my lawn, right? I don't want it to be this thing where the NFL becomes participation trophy paradise. Augustine saying there's nothing wrong with the debate team. Augustine, we said debate team, not masturbate team. You got it wrong. I know you were the champion, the world champion at that whenever you were in high school. I probably should not have said that. Probably should not have said that. Mireya saying change is good. What's wrong with more football? At the end, the winner will prevail. I agree with that. Like, I want more football. I think what I would like, if there was a rule change to be made to the NFL, I would like to see them get rid of ties, right? Like, let's just play this game out all the way. Like, if we have to have a second overtime, cool. Like I would be cool with that. Tommy Canazza saying we don't talk about Hitchens here. We really don't. We never speak anything negatively about anything. See, my girl Ehi tuned in over on Instagram as well. One of my favorite content creators over on TikTok. Getting some laughs about Augustine and his masturbatory practices. Uh-oh. Mireya saying Tommy is triggered. Triggered Tommy. I hear a noise, guys, in my house, and I don't know what it is. And I am terrified at this exact moment. If I die on live TV, it's not an April Fool's joke, okay? I have no idea what's going on. Oh, people breaking into my house. Jesus Christ. I know. Maybe a message or something of the sort would be something to help out. Augustine saying NCAA rules for ties. I agree with that as well, right? I agree with the fact that it should be no ties in the NFL. Triggered Tommy. I like it. We're coming up with nicknames here. We're coming up with some great nicknames on the show here. I disagree with that, Reyes and Triggered Tommy. They're saying at least you're not alone. I think that's what it is. I'm so used to being alone that whenever something happens, it just becomes weird to me, man. Like it genuinely, I was terrified. Wow. And that's still 4 seconds longer than Augustine. Oh, got him. Roasted him. Okay. Our guy Bistrilla saying, what is your take on the rule that was submitted about the best teams in the conference being in the playoffs? I how do I put this? So I am a proponent of reseeding, right? But I also feel like you have to have, like if you win a division, you have to have some sort of some sort of reward for winning your division. Because if you just put teams in based off of, this team was better, this team was at, blah, 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 okay. But I also, I can understand the Minnesota Vikings being upset that they had to go on the road whenever they had a 14-win season this year, right? Like, I can understand that. So I don't think there's an easy fix to this. But, there genuinely isn't an easy fix to this. There's genuinely an easy fix to this. And I'm just kind of thinking to myself, right, that's what leads us. Like if it's just, okay, well, you didn't win your division, but you had a really good record, then this, that, and the other. But we also have to look at, okay, what teams did you play? How did you win these games? If you look at the Minnesota Vikings, their schedule last year wasn't that difficult, right? Like it wasn't that great. And they won a lot of games on these one-score games. The same thing with the Kansas City Chiefs. We win a lot of games with these one-score games. Now, the difference is the Kansas City Chiefs played a first-place schedule, where the Minnesota Vikings did not play that first-place schedule. The NBA and the NHL do it that way. I think they should stay I think it should stay the same. Minnesota won 14 games. They should be capable of winning on the road. And that's where I agree 100%, Tommy. You should be able to win on the road. If you won 14 games, it doesn't matter the path it takes you to get to the Super Bowl. You should be able to do it. And the reason why I say that is because I don't feel like in sports anymore, maybe in college, but I don't feel like in sports in general, there is such a thing as a home field advantage, right? How many times can you tune into a playoff game and see that there are multiple different colored jerseys that aren't of that team, right? I say it a lot with the Dallas Cowboys. You watch a playoff game with the Dallas Cowboys, and it's almost like a 50-50 split. And I thought that was something that was unique to the Dallas Cowboys. Now, maybe in Detroit, where it's a little harder to get up there to Detroit, most people don't want to go up to Detroit. I'm not saying that is a bad thing, Bistrilla. I'm just saying it as the way that the world is looking at Detroit right now. The fact that most people don't want to go up there, they're not going to go that way, right? And not just that, Lions fans who haven't seen their team be successful aren't going to resell those tickets, where Dallas Cowboys fans are going to say, you know what? The money, I'll resell this ticket. I'm cool with whatever happens. You should be able to win on the road no matter what, right? You win it if you have home field advantage, it just gets you to a neutral site. Win on the road, anything can happen in a football game. We've seen it. 11 minutes of action, anything can happen in a football game. Bistrilla saying every NFL game is difficult no matter what. The Giants went on the road as a 6th team and won the Super Bowl twice. I want to say they did that twice, right? Like they had to win wild. I think the Green Bay Packers, whenever they won their Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers, they had to go on the road and win a bunch of games as well. What's the weather matters, though. That's the thing, is even whenever you look at that Miami and Kansas City game, right, just a couple of years ago, where it was negative whatever degrees it was outside and people got frostbite on their nipples. Whenever you watch that game, you sit back and you say to yourself, okay, maybe the weather played a factor in that game. But you peel back the layers and you have to realize Miami was a rushing team. That was the team that wanted to establish the run. Raheem Mostert was leading the NFL in touchdowns that year. He was leading the NFL in rushing yards that year. Devon Achane, that was his rookie year. He was becoming, a great running back. They were doing a halfway decent job running the ball. That was a running team. They just, for whatever reason, couldn't get anything against the Kansas City Chiefs. And running travels, right? Running the ball is kind of like your neutralizer in those weather type games. My guy, Brandon the Iceman Cone, you'll see me and him doing Fire and Ice on every Saturday over at Buffalo Wild Wings, 655 Sunland Park Drive on the west side of El Paso. Come on out there, hang out with us sometime. He wants every team to play in a dome. And I just don't think that that's one. Football weather is what makes football fun, right? Mireya saying, I agree, a win is a win. I think that is the first time Mireya and I have ever agreed on anything other than steak. Other than steak. It's the first time we've ever agreed on anything. My guy, Adrian Zamudio, saying, good morning to you, Adrian. Hope that you are having yourself a wonderful day today, my friend. Tommy Carranza saying the Vikings lost to LA. If I'm correct, LA is a dome team, right? If not, the weather in LA doesn't make a difference. And that's 100% the thing, right? That is 100% where it comes down to. Most of the time, teams are playing indoors, right? Minnesota's an indoor team. The Rams were an indoor team. They played at a neutral site in Arizona. The home field advantage that the Rams got for winning their division was nullified because they had to move that game because of the wildfires that were happening. Let's not forget about that, right? Like those devastating wildfires in California. They couldn't play the game at SoFi Stadium in California. So they moved the game to Phoenix, and it's a neutral site. You don't have your full home field advantage, quote unquote, home field advantage, right? So you're playing in a dome in Arizona at a neutral site. You should have been able to win that game. It wasn't a home game for the LA Rams, like a traditional home game. It was a neutral site game. Ivan Munoz joining in. Good morning. Hope you're doing fantastic today. As a matter of fact, I just saw you earlier and said good morning to you, so I just said it again to be redundant, because why the hell not? Augustine saying, Brandon Cone, you mean what's left of Brandon Cone? No longer the Iceman, Toothpick Man. He is the Iceman is melting. I've got to give props. If you haven't seen my dude Brandon the Iceman Cone, the transformation that he's gone through, going from almost 500 pounds to 260 pounds right now, my guy, an absolute inspiration. I am proud of you, my dude. I will say it as many times as I possibly can. Ivan, he's saying, home or not, we suck ass. Talking about the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Home, not from home, whatever it is. 0-17, baby. That's what I want. I want that number 1 overall pick. We're going to be awful for Arch. That's what we're doing in 2025, baby. Not keeping dreams alive in 2025. That's going to be the Dallas Cowboys motto this season. Not keeping dreams alive in 2025. We are murdering our dreams in 2025. Brian Schottenheimer. Matt Eberflus. Really? We have Eberflus? Usa. Gotta calm down. Gotta go with what was it? Anger management. Guzuz Fraba. Gotta do all that stuff. I hate that I love that team. I genuinely do. You can get that shirt on tiptonsports.com. I'm gonna start adding some more shirts to it as well, where you can do it for your own team. Because all of us have been there. We all hate the fact that we love these teams. We're cheering for laundry, not so much players. We're just cheering for colors, basically. And it sucks. It genuinely sucks as a sports fan. 90% of the time it sucks, I'll say. Nonetheless, we're doing all right. We're moving along here. I love the questions, though, guys. You guys got some more questions, let me know. Matt Eberflus is a good defensive coordinator. Stop it, Mike. Yo, it's all about what have you done for me lately. And the last time I saw Matt Eberflus, he had 30 seconds and a timeout and somehow lost a game and didn't get a damn playoff. Like it was insane for me. Insane for me. The Crooked Commish saying, yeah, sure. You sure it's not we're all in for reals this time? I think the Crooked Commish wasn't the part of the show whenever I was talking about Jerry Jones and him needing Cialis in order to get all in. And he's got to go find his glory hole and all that other stuff that Jerry Jones is trying to do. I think, and this is, one of the things that's out there. Everyone on me right now saying that's him. Matt Eberflus is a good defensive coordinator. That was Matt Eberflus as a head coach. His defenses were good. That's him as a head coach, Tip, not as a defensive coordinator. I get it. Is he going to be Wade Phillips 2.0? Is that what we're making him? He's Wade Phillips 2.0? Great defenses, just can't be a good head coach. Is that who he is? Old boy in New England. God, why can't I remember his name right now? The offensive coordinator in New England. Great offensive coordinator, just can't be a head coach. He's Norv Turner 2.0, Norv Turner 3.0 probably, right? Like, is that what he is? Because if that's the case, then maybe. Because the Dallas Cowboys defense can't get much worse than what it was last year. It was god-awful. It was a brick of Swiss cheese for the Dallas Cowboys. I hate that I love that team. Tommy Canazza saying that's exactly who he is. He is who we thought he was. Shout out to Dennis Green. Josh McDaniels. There we go. Josh McDaniels. So that's it. So he is going to be basically Wade Phillips 2.0. And I love me some Wade Phillips. Don't get me wrong. I love Wade Phillips. El Paso High School alumnus, Wade Phillips. I love whenever people in El Paso do that stuff. Hold on, I gotta try to find something here, guys. Sorry, had a message that came in. There's the message. Sorry. Black Hammy 22 saying yes, 100%. Okay, I mean I get it, right? Maybe, or maybe we're just being optimistic that Matt Eberflus is going to be a good defensive coordinator. And again, the Dallas Cowboys defense was so bad last year that any improvement is going to make Matt Eberflus look good. But if they're bad, if the Dallas Cowboys defense is bad, we're going to revisit this. And if their defense is good, we're going to revisit this, and I will have a mea culpa because I am all about accountability. Jesus Christ, I got something in my throat. That is the downside of being me and my never-ending nosebleed that I have. Looking at the comment section, don't see anything new. Okay. So, I mean, again, Jerry Jones going back to the Cricket Commission, the Dallas Cowboys saying that they're all in. It brings me over to an article that I saw over on ESPN where it was Micah Parsons is expected to be a full participant with the Dallas Cowboys as they are, talking about redoing a contract, getting a new contract for Micah Parsons. And that to me is a good sign. And I also feel like with the money the Dallas Cowboys still have left over, signing Micah Parsons is a matter of when, not if. And the Dallas Cowboys need to find a way to get this done so it's not a storyline. I also have a feeling, I know I said this last year when it came down to the Dallas Cowboys, that Jerry Jones just loves the team being in the news. And it was leaked out to me, and I don't know if it's the truth or not, but it was leaked out to me from someone that I trust over in Dallas that knows a lot about the Dallas Cowboys. It said the deal with Dak Prescott was agreed to back in May. The Dallas Cowboys just love being in the news. So Jerry Jones said, we won't announce the contract until August, September, right before the beginning of the season. But the deal was already agreed upon. I feel like that's more than likely another thing that the Dallas Cowboys are going to do here with Micah Parsons as well. I feel like they've already got a deal in place. If there wasn't, I feel like Micah would be more vocal about it. But he's not. And he's going to show up and participate and do all the stuff like Dak was doing last year. Black Hammy 22 saying that's what she said. Mark Solano saying, man, I wish I was drinking with you right now. I'm currently in an office working on various PR strategies. Once again, we're trying to figure out, is there actually bourbon in this coffee? We are more than halfway through the mason jar, the big-ass mason jar of coffee. Is there bourbon in this coffee? We shall find out together. Tommy Canazza saying, Matt Eberflus was an awesome linebacker coach in Dallas. You got him it got him the DC job in Indy, and the job he did in Indy got him the head coaching job in Chicago. He failed as a head coach for the Bears. The defense was pretty good. The defense, it was a pretty good defense. It was all right. It was a good defense. It was a good defense. We got a good defense. Tommy Carranza and Bistrilla are basically best friends right now. Trigger Tommy and Bistrilla, best friends, ganging up on me, not agreeing with a word Tip says. I don't know. I've how many times have we seen it, man? Chip Kelly was a good coach, and then he wasn't, and then he was never able to be a good coach again. Like it seems to happen a lot that way. The guy was a good coach, couldn't go back to it, right? Maybe it's a psychological thing. There's something that goes on with all that stuff. You know, you already know I'm big on psychology. There's always the possibility that it's just not there anymore. I hope it is for the Dallas Cowboys' sake. I hope it is, but I'm also a type of person where anytime Matt Eberflus does anything, I can put up right there the little clip of 30 seconds, a timeout, and you still lose a game without getting a playoff. Bistrilla saying, how do you feel about Dallas re-signing Micah? I think they need to. You re-sign him, or if you don't re-sign him, you got to trade him for a lot. And if you trade him, that's your sign to the fans that you're rebuilding. You cannot let a defensive player like that just walk away, right? Like they just can't leave. So you have to do everything you can to re-sign him. If you can't re-sign him, then you got to trade him and say, look, we're going to start rebuilding, at least rebuilding the defense here. Tommy Cananza saying the Bears didn't have any weapons Dallas has defensively, or didn't have the weapons that Dallas has defensively. Mireya coming at them both and saying, oh, and I'm the negative Nancy. Okay. I'm the melancholic Mireya. Okay. I'm all about alliteration. Melancholic Mireya. Tommy Cananza saying that's all on head coaches, though. There are plenty of failed head coaches that flourish as coordinators. I guess. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Obviously, that's not the sexy thing to say. We'll see. But I feel like that's just basically where we are right now. I got to see it. I got to see it to believe it. I got to see it to believe it. You can tell me you're all in, but then you go out and do nothing in the offseason, and you look like Jerry Jones going to the glory hole and having yourself a good old time. I feel so bad for people that don't understand or get that reference. They got to be thinking to themselves, what the hell does this guy mean, Jerry Jones going to the glory hole? We'll see what it is, though. We'll see what it is. Another thing that I wanted to talk about, Torpedo bats. Torpedo bats coming into Major League Baseball. Tommy Cananza saying, I am giving Eberflus 2 years before I dump on him. Okay. Mireya Reyes saying, make a believer out of Tipton. I'm telling you, like, I go through the ebbs and flows, Mireya. I go through the ebbs and flows. I know a little bit later on this year, after the draft, and the Dallas Cowboys rock the draft because they're normally really good with the draft. Once I see them do the draft, my negativity, my pessimism, all of that is going to go away. And I'm going to start like ticking back up and thinking to myself, look, okay, 0-17, maybe. But man, there's a real shot we can go 1-16. Maybe we even go 2-14. We can go 3-14, sorry. We can go 4-13. Hell, there's a possibility we go 5-12. Damn, maybe at the end of the season, looking at the schedule, there's a real possibility we can be 17-0. I'm going to go through every single one of those scenarios as I lead up to the season because at the end of the day, I am a fan of the team. They are my most toxic relationship. They will constantly be my most toxic relationship. Once again, I'm adopted, and they're my most toxic relationship. One of these days, I'll tell some of y'all about the stories from adoption because Jesus Christ, man. Tommy Cananza saying, who cares about Major League Baseball? And our guy Bistrilla saying, as long as they're legal, the Yankees are good. And that's the thing, right? Everyone wants to talk about these torpedo bats. And if you haven't seen them, they look like they're uncircumcised bats. Probably shouldn't have said that on Roku. My apologies. But that's what they look like. A bat with... Not gonna... Jesus Christ. One of these days I'll grow up, guys. I'm 41. One of these days I'll grow up. I promise you. One of these days I'll grow up. I'm good at painting pictures, though. I can tell you that much. Tommy Cananza saying the exact same thing I said. Bring back steroids. Whenever I worked at iHeartMedia here in El Paso, my general manager, Walter Alvarez, he's been a fan of the show, tunes into the show every now and then. Yep, I actually said that. That's a thing that came out of my mouth as I was talking about baseball bats. The uncircumcised baseball bats that the New York Yankees and other players are playing with. Ellie De La Cruz yesterday had himself one of the torpedo bats as well. And again, I'm all about it, right? Baseball is a game where you fail 3 out of 7 times and you're a Hall of Famer. So why not give yourself a little bit more of an advantage whenever you have one of those hooded bats on it? Tommy, you put that comment up the second I said it. I mean, same brain waves over here, my guy. Brian, you've been doing stuff, I think, longer with national streaming sports than I have. And I keep wondering to myself, like, am I saying something that is going to get me in trouble? So maybe you can be the one to help me out here, because I feel like it's a weird question if I ask other people. You're here on the show. You've witnessed it firsthand. Again, this is me at 8 o'clock in the morning, sober-ish. Once again, the question of the day, was there bourbon in here? Look how far we are. I got 9 minutes to finish this. We're taking big gulps now. That might be, you know what? We might do that for the ASMR crowd. Let me turn the mic up real quick. That might have sounded gross to some people, but I do lead all of El Paso sports media in ASMR. Oh man. But again, like if the bats are legal, then there should be no issue with it at all. Tommy Canasta saying no one likes the hooded bats. No one does, right? No one. Oh God. If you've ever seen Deuce Bigalow, European Gigolo, then you know exactly where my mind was going right here. Midea saying nobody is offended. Move along with the steroids and hooded bats. I'm with it as well. I want you to bring back steroids, right? Like, I want the best athlete. Daniel Tosh used to talk about this. I want the best athlete science can give me. Most of the time, they don't care about life after football anyway. They don't care about life after sports anyway. If they want to do roids, let them do roids. If you want to be a clean dude, be a clean dude. Imagine how much better you can feel about yourself if you strike out a guy that's doing a bunch of roids, right? But cheating is a part of sports. Like it's always been a part of sports. Bistro saying TC915 is influencing you, Tip. I know. That's what's going on here. He's getting me going. He's getting it going. But I steroids is what saved baseball. These torpedo bats are what's going to save baseball, in my opinion, right? Like all jokes aside, you want to see more offense when you go to a baseball game. I love pitching, right? I'm a defensive kind of guy. I love to go and see a no-hitter, see a perfect game. I would love to see that. But I know most other people out there want to see the bombs. They want to see home runs. They want to see runs scored. Now, the downside to that is that it makes the game longer. But if the game's going to be longer, at least it could be a little more fun. And that's what you get with these torpedo bats. It's going to increase offense, which is what people want out of baseball. The fact of the matter is like whenever we talk about, okay, what's wrong with baseball? It's the same thing to me, at least, that's wrong with soccer. No one wants to sit there for however long it takes to sit there and watch the score be 1-0 or 2-0, or in soccer's case, 0-0, because it just feels like you wasted your time. So if these torpedo bats are going to allow people to have more offense, are going to bring more runs to the game, then I'm all about it. And if they're legal, and they have to be, because if they weren't, Major League Baseball would have came down on the Yankees because they were using it last year, then maybe, just maybe, some of the other teams out there should use them as well. Destiny saying, or games that end in a tie. Nothing worse than a game that ends in a tie. Augustine saying, wait, soccer is a complete other animal, and then said before that, nothing is going to save baseball. It's only that it is It's only safe as it's not going against basketball or football, but it is going against basketball. We got to remember, basketball season ends in June. That's halfway through the Major League Baseball season, and then football kicks off in September, sometimes August, and baseball doesn't end until mid-October, sometimes November. So it does go up against those sports. Tommy Kanatsu saying, you know what'll save baseball? Juiced up players hitting home runs with unhooded bats. I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100%. But they have to be hooded bats. It's a torpedo. It's a torpedo. Yes. Once again, if you understand where I'm at with the Deuce Bigalow European Gigolo, then you and I can be friends. If you don't get where I'm at, then it's going to be different. Augustine saying about soccer being a completely different animal. How? How is it different? B. Strilla saying baseball isn't going anywhere. Is that a good thing or a bad thing, though? Like, I don't understand. Like, because I feel like baseball needs to do something. Like, it genuinely needs to do something. I love baseball. You see the hat right here, right? The MLB All-Star Game where I was at last year. I love baseball. I can sit back and listen to a baseball game on the radio. I can watch a baseball game for the most part all the way through. I love me some baseball. But I can understand why people say it's boring. And if these bats and roids are going to bring up all the runs and all the stuff that people want to see whenever they go to a baseball game, then I'm for it. I'm all for it. Destiny saying baseball is fun to watch in person. Sometimes. Medea saying soccer players flop for action. Yeah, that's the biggest issue with them. That's all about the acting. Some great actors in the world of soccer. Tommy Kanatsu saying, I only watch October baseball and Red Sox Yankees games. This generation don't have any patience for it, especially for baseball. No one has patience for baseball anymore, or soccer. Augustine says, nonstop action, the most physical sport of all, half a marathon each game. They run half a marathon in basketball games too, but you know what else they do in basketball? They score. They actually get points. That's the crazy thing about it. You want to say nonstop action? They kick the ball around in the backfield for 95 minutes in a 90-minute game. I'm really trying to get into soccer. I am really trying to get into soccer. Tommy Kanatsu saying, so does LeBron as long as it goes to the flopping. Marlene Salcedo saying, I can watch it, but I'd rather play it. I can't watch it. I'd rather play it. All right, everybody, great conversation. We will be back tomorrow. Remember, on Saturday, we're going to be at Buffalo Wild Wings for Fire and Ice. Former El Paso Diablos owner Jim Paul going to be joining me there at the on location. We will see you all tomorrow for more sports talk, maybe. You all know there are hundreds of betting sites out there, but don't be fooled. Some sites are legal in some states only. Some sites pay in Bitcoin, and some sites have even been hacked. However, BetUS has been in business for over 30 years. They have future bets that are paying out in the thousands, and there's still time for you to bet on the Super Bowl, the National Championship, and even the NBA Championship. Just use the QR code right here, and it'll take you to the BetUS site. BetUS. Check it out and bet responsibly. Are you a fellow car guy? I have a 2008 Ford Mustang GT convertible, and nothing makes me happier in that car than when it's nice and clean. And you know who helps me get there? RevAutoCarCare.com. They help me get that pony looking as nice and shiny and ready for any of the car meetups that are all around the great city of El Paso. Spoil your car and go to RevAutoCarCare.com/Tipton and view all the inventory they have and find out what works for you to help make your ride shine. RevAutoCarCare.com/Tipton. Use promo code Tipton33 at checkout to save 15%.